The Temple of People, where creeds disappear and hearts remain.
I'm Matt Day.
And I'm TAMI AMER.
To start off this presentation, we'll first talk about the origins of the Temple of the People. It was founded in 1898 in Syracuse, New York, but in 1903 it moved to Halcyon, along California's central coast. Halcyon was chosen because the founders felt it was where the location where lines of power that exist across the world came to intersect. Once they relocated to Halcyon, they bought a hotel and a sanitarium where people from across the world came to be treated for addictions, nervous disorders, tuberculosis, and more. They used nature forces and state-of-the-art technology, such as the Central Coast's first X-ray machine, to heal patients. From there, an intentional community began to grow, and the Blue Star Memorial Temple completed construction in 1924.
Continuing on with the history of the temple, we can look at the picture on the left, who is Dr. William H. Dower. Dr. Dower and his wife on the right, Mrs. Francia Ledoux, founded the Temple of People in 1898. Dr. Dower became interested in the idea of theosophy while he was a medical student in New York. Francia, also known as Blue Star, was the first head of the temple, serving as guardian-in-chief. When Francia passed away in 1922, Dr. Dower became the next guardian-in-chief and supervised the building of the Blue Star Memorial Temple.
Since Dr. Dower had an interest in theosophy, he used a lot of the beliefs from the Theosophical Society for the temple, but their beliefs often go beyond that and often put an emphasis on the golden rule and unity among people. Pictured on the right are the founders of theosophy, Helena Blavatsky and Henry Steele Olcott. The Temple of the People has 5 main objectives. The first is to search for spiritual truths. The second is to follow a philosophy that is in tune with natural and divine law. The third is to promote the study of science to learn how it coexists with the spiritual. The fourth is to study and promote the arts. And lastly, the temple promotes learning about a social science that shows the relationship between people with others and the relationship between people and the spiritual.
It is important in this slide to know that the temple as a religious society is non-denominational. The Temple of People has a wide variety of religious backgrounds. On the left altar is a small gold bowl that is used for healing services that happen daily at noon. Names are placed in the bowl and they are prayed for. Within the healing services of the temple, prayers and meditations are offered directed toward the safety of the world. The middle altar is used on Sunday morning services, which are open to all. This altar is used for communion, lectures, and monthly mediation services. The content of these services all come from the Master and are universal in nature. In these services, they talk about their beliefs which focus on unity, treating others as you would want to be treated, karma, reincarnation, and creating oneself with the spiritual. The Temple of People is built on the lines of mathematical and geometrical symbolism. As I observed the temple in person, I can say that it has a very unique structure. It is surrounded by white pillars as seen in the photo on the left that supports the roof. The temple's triangle shape symbolizes the heart, unity of all life, and the many trinities central to the spiritual core of all great teachings throughout history. The windows in the temple are placed high to symbolize divine light that comes from above, and they are glazed with this special opalescent glass to diffuse the sunlight into a golden glow. The beams that hold the roof converge at the center, seen on the left, and a time capsule is located under the temple at that point.
The leadership in the temple is chosen intentionally. Eleanor Shumway is the current guardian-in-chief, and the next guardian-in-chief will be elected by her. The Temple of the People tries to integrate both males and females in their leadership positions to balance the energies of opposite sexes. The leadership in the temple, other than the guardian-in-chief, which is the highest held position, is chosen through active involvement in the community and willingness of dedication. In our interview with Eleanor, she also states that in some cases, the master will choose who is destined to be in certain positions of leadership. The temple utilizes a few books that encapsulate what they believe. The 3 volumes of Teachings of the Temple explain how to live in accord with the divine. From the Mountaintop is 3 volumes of inspirational messages from those who have guided humanity through the ages. Theogenesis was written by Dr. Dower and explores the evolutionary path of humanity. Current Guardian-in-Chief Eleanor Shumway shared with us that she was also proud of writings from Halcyon and Images of America Halcyon, which explore the history of the temple. Symbolism is also seen throughout the temple. The temple seal, seen on the right, symbolizes the golden age that humanity is evolving towards. Each piece of the seal symbolizes the embodiment of wisdom, knowledge, mystery, and the spiritual. The temple itself is filled with the number 7, which is the key to the universe. 3 is also important as it represents the Trinity found in many religious traditions. These numbers can be seen in the building with 7 doors, 3 beams that meet at the center, 7-foot-tall pillars, and much more. Nearly everything in the construction of the temple and in their symbols are intentionally placed to represent and help experience the divine.
In our interview with Eleanor, she explained that the future of the temple must rely on technology. She claimed that COVID was a blessing from the divine because the forced online connections allowed them to interact with people in Tokyo, London, and across the world. While their core values of unity and kindness will remain, the future may be much more reliant on technology. In the words of the temple, creeds disappear, hearts remain. Thank you for listening to the inside of the temple, and remember always the golden rule from the temple: do unto others as you would that they undo to you. We would also like to thank Eleanor Shumway for letting us visit the site in person despite COVID. Check out more about the temple using the citation below on the slide. Thank you.
Thank you.